Hello everyone and welcome to Pardon My Vlog. As always, things are busy. Working my full-time job still, and then still trying to keep on top of everything here. Today I've been making soup, which is the first time I've made soup since I worked in a cafe, and it's the first time I've made soup unsupervised, so I've basically just been, this goes in, it's just, right, what am I doing? It's soup, it's simple, it's cooking at the moment, even, in my kitchen, which is just over there. Boiling away, hopefully going well. It smells delicious, which, probably a good sign. It's October, of course, it's pumpkin soup. Pumpkins are quite cheap, or at least they are in England, or at least they seem to be. So I've always kind of and I love pumpkin, so it just seems like something, now that I'm living alone, I just thought it would be great to just stockpile pumpkins, well, buy lots of pumpkins and stockpile pumpkin soup as a cheap, delicious food to have, which just keeps in the freezer for ages. I've also got a Magic the Gathering tournament to prepare for this weekend, so wanted to do that tonight. Fingers crossed, it's going to take a while. I'll probably start tonight, finish tomorrow. Because, yeah, things have happened and now I've got time tomorrow as well to plan. What else am I doing? I'm doing this. I'm recording for YouTube. And I wanted to talk about NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month UK? I'm not sure if... it says national, but I think it's like an international thing. I think it's popular in America as well, and probably elsewhere where the NaNoWriMo portmanteau would work. But before that, I think I need to respond to Kier's vlog of last week, where he kind of accuses me of taking lots of time in, like, when we play Dungeons & Dragons Pathfinder. I think, generally, I did used to take quite a lot of time, and I think that I have gotten better. Although in, like, the big campaign that we're doing at the moment with, like, Ben and Laurie, I do still take a lot of time, but I have to kind of defend myself, or kind of put some kind of counter-argument there, in that I kind of built... well, it's a while ago, I was still kind of... I was young and naive, and I built my character poorly. I built a bard that I wanted to also kind of have some kind of combat prowess, but I felt that I needed to kind of have all of, like, the good stats be the mental stats. So bard needs charisma for spells, for bardic performance, for all this stuff. I wanted him to be smart, so he had all of the skill ranks. Needed to be wise because that kind of boosts your will defense. I think there are a few other things, and I just wanted a wise character. And then I also kind of made him very dexterous, because I thought, well, I want him to be, haha, fancy, sword fighting, swashbuckling, corsair type, and dashing around, acrobatics, jumping on tables, running, jumping, climbing, all that stuff. And then my two poor stats, 9s, went into strength and constitution. In Pathfinder at level 4 you kind of get a stat adjustment where you kind of give +1 to one of your stats, and I think I gave that to strength, so that I had kind of no modifier for strength, which leaves me with a -1 for constitution. So I kind of tried to create a character who's always kind of leading the charge, rallying everyone on the front lines, and now I kind of find myself in the situation where most enemies that I come up against can kill me in one shot. There was a Were-Rat pirate captain who could easily kill me in one shot. There was a demon that we faced who would kill me in one shot. There was a drow agent who had some kind of words of power, and if I could hear it, I was unconscious at the time, if I could hear it, would have killed me in one shot. everything kills me in one shot. I think for Kier's campaign I've created a human barbarian, starting at 3rd level. He has comparable hit points to my 7th level bard. Maybe exactly the same. There's, I think, maybe 1 out. So, yeah, I need to think. If I don't think, then I'll die. And I've put a lot of time and effort into this character. As flawed as they are, both metagame and in-game. And I don't want them to die because I've done something stupid. And every decision I make seems to be, how can I avoid dying? And that's why it might take a bit longer than people with hit points coming out their arse. But enough about that. NaNoWriMo. I tried once before in college. I had the idea that, but I didn't do very well. But as we started using Google Drive more for our YouTube things, just kind of uploading audio for podcasts, swapping things, I noticed that on my Google Drive I actually had my previous NaNoWriMo entry, and I thought, you know what, I kind of give up on things quite quickly. I could just kind of read an excerpt and then I would kind of say, it's like, this is how awful my last attempt was. Let's hope that this time I can do a bit better. I actually managed to get 5 pages written down, which, given NaNoWriMo standards, I don't think that's all that much, but I think for me that was quite impressive. I did skim a few bits and it wasn't good, but and I think that when I tend to do a better job of editing than I do actually writing, I feel. If it's kind of someone gives me a bit of work and I can say, it's like, ooh, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. But if I have to kind of create, then I'm not as good as that. I'm not as good as kind of putting pen to paper and not repeating myself, not kind of becoming monotonous. I don't know, I've got a lot of work to do, but my idea for NaNoWriMo is I don't actually have a proper plan for a story. I've got a couple of ideas jumping around the head, but the main reason I want to do it this year is basically before my video game, which I've kind of said for a while now. I finished like the small test demo that I was going to do for just to kind of get used to the RPG Maker system. And now I'm going to kind of get started on the game proper, like the big first game, what I'm going to kind of put out to the world. And I haven't started. I just can't, I kind of keep getting ideas, I keep planning things, and I want to change it, I want to do something different, I want to change the characters, the narrative, the story, the ideas that I want to put forward, the socio-political hierarchy, and do I want this, do I want that? And it's just kind of a jumbled mess of if, buts and maybes. And I kind of thought to myself, I've kind of discussed it with people, that if I can do NaNoWriMo, get out the story for, like, behind the video game, then I have a solid base. I have a thing that I can tweak and edit. I'll have a starting point that I can just kind of get to building the game. I can build the world. I can get an idea of what it looks like. It'll be a starting point. It'll be a fixed, solid starting point that I can say, this is what I'm going to build around. I can change things. It's all malleable, but this is what I'm doing. Rather than kind of where I am now, where it's all over the place. Because it's kind of like that, if you've got infinite choice, then you're not gonna, you can't make a decision. Kind of limitations help us be creative. In some cases, I don't know what I'm saying. Kier's a creative one, go ask him. And on that note, I think I've said all I need to. Kira's also being part of NaNoWriMo. Seeing as that's what I'm talking about today, he's kind of said that I can talk a little bit about what he's doing as well. Oh, pardon. He's doing kind of like a political espionage thriller set in the Cold War. Yes, it would be set in Cold War. Not sure kind of what time frame, but the title of his book will be Number One is a Soviet Spy. And it's essentially just about, I think, a detective or just some guy whose brother or relative or close friend was a bit of a conspiratorial nut and kind of would kind of talk about kind of conspiracies, the Red Invasion, Soviet spies, and then one day disappears, which most people think is just a disappearance, but then this guy, the main character, uncovers a few things, which kind of things pop up, which make it seem that it really wasn't what it seemed, that it wasn't a usual disappearance. And he kind of searches through his flat, and all he can find is the one message, or the thing that stands out is just the message, Number One is a Soviet spy. And then he's going to have to go on this whole journey of discovery. Who is Number One? Was Number One a Soviet spy? Why was he called Number One? Why did he disappear? How did he disappear? What happened to him? Is he still alive? Is he dead? Was he silenced? It's got a lot of Roman care if he finishes it, which I think, I'm not sure how much Keir's done in literary. I know he's done a lot of short stories, but I'm not sure how much he's actually done of longer novels. He's got a bit of my tendency not to be able to finish things, though I think Keir might have a better excuse that he's keeps getting inspired to do other things. So he'll start one thing, have inspiration for something which he'll think is better, and then get working on that. Whereas I'll just kind of start, have lots of momentum, and then I'll peter out and peter out and peter out and stop. Which I'm going to try not to do. And I'm feeling good about it. Because just take our YouTube venture, which we're getting low views, low subscribers, not doing anything special, but we're keeping up. We are managing to upload like vlogs every fortnight, What the Folk every fortnight, the podcasts mostly every week. I think we've done like a good 20, more than 20, like 22, 23 episodes. We took one hiatus that was planned, and apart from that I think we maybe missed one, maybe 2 weeks. We're keeping good pace, we're keeping good momentum, and so we need to continue that on. We are planning to kind of blitz November, kind of get all of our videos out of the way so we can just upload them, and then concentrate entirely on the novels that we're going to try and write. And I don't know, hopefully we'll have this newfound momentum and stick to it into this and apply it to NaNoWriMo. Here's hoping. So thanks for listening, that's our update, that's what we're doing, that's my rebuttal to Keir. See you again next week, and I'll see you again in the vlog format in another 2 weeks. Until then.